Good to go?
Hello, Fab.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yay.
Okay, so what do you spend too much money on?
My partner would say skincare. Yeah, let's just be honest about it, you know? Hi, my name is Fabienne. I'm the founder of YCL, and this is my story for notation.
Okay, Fab, can you tell us where we are?
We are in our YCL Burleigh boutique, and we opened this space in 2023, just off the back of our rebrand, which felt like a really great way to celebrate the rebrand. We'd had the same branding, the same color scheme for the brand for nearly a decade. So it was a really exciting way for us to invite the customers into the new chapter of YCL. And overall, I'm so happy with how it turned out. It feels like such a visceral experience with the brand, which was the goal. So we're stepping inside our showroom now, which was very intentionally designed. It feels very much like a physical representation of everything we want our beautiful community to feel when they wear our jewellery, which is why we decided to make it almost like a womb cave design. We chose a beautiful natural Pilbara marble for our POS countertop, paired with Kalamata Laminex, which took so much time to decide, but we're really happy with the end result. We also wanted it to feel warm and really inviting, so we decided to go with a Venetian plaster on all the walls, which is what you see here. And this was my final touch. I found this vintage Italian light, and I knew that I had to give her a home within our boutique. When we were designing the space, I knew that we wanted a mirror that really took up space. She was loud, and I'm so happy with the final result of this mirror. We decided to also plaster her in the exact same Venetian plaster, and I love the way that it's turned out. When we also opened up the showroom, we hadn't launched our sister brand Sorella, which are our beautiful jewellery chests. So it's so nice that we're able to make a home for her here as well. One of the most exciting parts about launching this showroom was we received some feedback in our old space. We had an old 70s warehouse in Currumbin, and we had a customer walk in, and it obviously wasn't done like this. And one of our customers said they expected more from the brand when they walked in. And as a founder, I'm like, I'm taking that feedback. Like, how can I turn that feedback into something really constructive that actually creates the experience that customers were starting to expect from the brand? So I was like, sister, you just wait 12 more months. I'm gonna give you the showroom that you would expect. So that was kind of like a funny little thing that I always say, because the space has turned into so much more than we could have ever expected. And it's beautiful that our customers walk in and they honestly are wowed and in awe of the experience and the space and the feeling. And I think that it's a beautiful, seamless touch point when you're on our website, when you wear our jewelry, to then coming in and experiencing this. It all feels very fluid, which as a brand is the most important thing to create for your customers. So we're going to go upstairs now and we can meet some of our team. So up here we have our beautiful marketing manager, our graphic designer, and our social media coordinator. Our general manager is working from home today, but this is where a lot of the magic happens. I would describe the culture and the essence of YCL very much just like a little family. We really support each other, we uplift each other, and we love to see each other grow. So we've got our beautiful marketing manager, Fakili, behind me, and she's been with us for nearly 7 years. And as a team, we've gone through so much together. We've both become mothers together. We've gone through so many different life stages together. So that really does bleed through the relationships you have at work. We're a very small team. We're extremely passionate about what we do. As a smaller team, I feel we always say that we get so much work done because we just love what we do, and we love all working as a team as well. So It's quite a journey as a business owner when you start to hire a team and you start to attract the people in your team that can expand your brand in ways that you could have never done it by yourself. When I started YCL, I was the jewelry maker, the designer, the dispatch assistant, the accountant, the photographer, the model, all the things, because you're working with limited resources, you know? And then there's an element of control that you start to develop because you understand the foundations of every single facet and department of a brand. So as it grows, it's an art in letting go as you start to surrender to inviting, and I really like to think that we've invited and welcomed incredible people to join our team because I have my niche set of skills and the people that we have in their roles are experts in what they do, or they have started from the very beginning and they've grown with us as a brand. We've been able to nurture that journey for them as they have us. So it's always a really exciting opportunity when we welcome someone new because it gives us an opportunity to learn, to grow what worked where they used to work. Are there any areas for optimization within our brand that maybe we haven't explored? Yeah.
Hello, my name's Keely and I am the marketing manager here at YCL. I have worked for YCL for almost 7 years now, and I truly did start from the bottom. I was their marketing intern and now I'm the marketing manager, which is really exciting. I love my job here. It is very multifaceted. I guess I oversee the marketing strategy. So from concept to creation, the whole process. And yeah, I really just bring YCL's story to life. I have been at YCL through many phases when we were just a small brand and there was about maybe 3 or 4 of us. And now there are nearly 7, I think, employees. As I mentioned before, I was an intern. So I started as an intern and then I was the marketing assistant and now I'm the marketing manager. And I had our beautiful Heidi. She started as my intern and now she is our social media assistant. And we are just a little dynamic duo, us. We really get it done. And she is like the face of the brand, her and Fab. So she's who you see on all of our socials and she just kills it. So yes, I had a baby last year, little Dallas. And yeah, it was something that was a little bit, I guess, scary in the moment. As somebody who's really passionate about her career as well, it was something that was a little bit scary, but I had Fab's support, which was really great. And having somebody who I could, I guess, lean on, who had already been through it, who was also really passionate about her career and was able to, I guess, support me through the journey, which I've really been grateful for. So we have a really exciting collection launch coming up, Ear Architecture. Everyone has been asking us for new earrings, so we are going to deliver, and here's a little sneak peek. This is a little bit of our mood board for the flat lay shoot. You can see we've got some huggies, some studs, our very first cartilage piercing. And here's a little bit of the creative direction.
My name's Tatiana and I'm the new graphic designer here at YCL. And yeah, it's my 2nd week, so very fresh and new.
So you came from quite a big fashion brand and you took the role at YCL just a couple of weeks ago. What have you noticed about the transition to a smaller team?
It's just been so amazing to feel like my voice is kind of heard here, and it's so exciting to feel like I have kind of a bit of direction towards all different parts of the creative process, which is kind of something I've never been able to do before. So yeah, I'm just really excited to kind of shadow our creative director and work alongside her and just learn, the creative process from start to finish, because I was so used to just working on a screen and not having that, creative flow. So yeah, that's probably one of the most exciting parts about this new role. So yeah.
My name is Heidi and I am the social media coordinator. I am essentially the face behind all of the socials of the brand that you see online. I plan, edit, film all the content that you see. I actually started at YCL as an intern and I was just coming in 1 day a week and making TikToks, and it's led me to this amazing job, this amazing place that I get to call work every day. I manage all the socials, so TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and I absolutely love what I do. There's so many rewarding parts to my job, but the most rewarding part would be getting so much creative freedom to do what I think looks cool, and the team is always so supportive of that, and it is so rewarding seeing the content go out and resonate with our audience and our community. I think that is the best part. We've just actually launched Sonora collection. There was 2 parts to it. Both parts were my favourite. Probably the most favourite collection that we've done because I really did get to step into my creative side and take on a little bit more of that stuff, working closely with the graphic designer. So that was really fun to be so creative with the content.
What kind of practical tips do you think you could give interns on what they can do during their internships to be the most noticeable and be effective and proactive?
Honestly, I have 2 phones in my hands at all times, and they always have different social media apps open, and TikTok, if that's what you're going for specifically, that's what I was doing at the start, being on TikTok 24/7. And yes, you can call it work because it's research. It is research, and seeing what people are doing, seeing what trends are out there, what sounds are going around, and just really being on top of that. Even like filming style trends, there's so many different things, and just sort of knowing what's going on out in the world, I think will really help you.
So we have our shoot next week, and we like to prepare all of our styling ahead because we've done it in the past where we haven't, and it's absolute chaos.
So when you guys are styling for a shoot, is this the approach you usually take with using the paper and styling the ear or the neckline?
You take this.
This is actually the first time we've done it with the paper. Yeah. So this is our first like full ear launch with studs and cartilage piercing. So we kind of just thought this would be a fun way and also a more practical way to be prepared. And I don't know if you can have a look here, but we then take some photos of it so that we have reference on the day. It just means that we're productive and can tick off that we've got the shot for every piercing.
Yeah.
And it's also really cute UGC for the grids.
It is, yeah, it is.
We can use it as content.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes because jewellery is so fine, it can get easily lost on the day of the shoot. If we're not prepared to this level, we kind of just slap stuff together, which look has worked in the past, but we try to be very productive in the small time that we have, especially on shoots, because we only shoot 4 or 5 times a year, but big campaign shoots like this we probably do 3 or 4 times a year. So it's a big day. It's a big day. Yeah, it's a big day. It's an expensive day. So if we can try to maximize the output, and we usually shoot 3 collections as well for our shoots. We try to really maximize the content that we get.
So I heard you mention the Henny Blazer. And can you tell me a little bit more about your guys' approach to collaborations? I know I've seen you do the neighborhood hot Pilates room collab events, things like that.
Yeah, so collaborations is a massive part of what we do here at YCL and just in marketing in general. We collaborate with brands for shoots. So we've worked with Henny in the past, with Jean, some really great Australian labels, and we love to keep it local, keep it small brands as well as big brands, but just supporting the local brands in Australia. But we also love to do partnerships with brands for like collaborations and community events.
We love an event.
We recently did one with Neighbourhood. Hides ran that. That was a great activation done by her.
Angel number collection that we released. So we invited some members from our community, a few creators to come as well, and they all got gifted an angel number that resonated with them, and they got to take a beautiful motion and intention setting class as well. So it was beautiful,
And I think the feedback we get from that was what, I guess it didn't surprise me, but it was just nice that people were seeing it for the reason that we actually said it, which was was to create that community moment, and kind of what I was touching on in the showroom. So much of the feedback, especially from the second round that we did, people were like, it was such a nice night. They felt so nice, and then they're carrying that feeling with them when they wear their jewellery, which is ultimately what we hope for and try to do for everything.
do have pulled the Symbolism collection for us to take a peek at. Can you tell us a little bit behind the creative inspiration for this collection?
Yeah, the inspiration came to me, it would have been back in 2020 for an interchangeable collection. I knew I wanted the functionality to have a link that you were able to put pendants in and out of. And though now it's quite you can see some different renditions of this style of collection. In Australian brands, it was really only European brands that were doing this style at the time that I started to design the collection. Then we had our general manager come on board and she actually came up with the concept to call it Symbolism, which I just loved. I knew I wanted it to be interchangeable, beautiful, intricate, somewhat ornate pendants that didn't shy away from being bold and colourful. I think that when you think of the brand, sometimes you think of the finer pieces of YCL, but as designers, our general manager and myself make up the very small design team at YCL, and this is like the most fun we have every year. And we're now on the 6th year of releasing renditions of this collection where we release new chains, links, fun ways to extend it, interchange the pendants. So as designers, we have so much fun with it, and it really allows us an opportunity to get quite creative, because sometimes when you're designing, I think people have this perception that it's this fun, very free job, but it's not. We're a 13-year-old brand. We have to look at the data, sell-through rate. We pull from the archives a lot. So it's very data-driven when you design. Whereas with this collection, we can have a little bit more fun.
And from the creative inspiration into production, can you take us through that journey?
Yeah, look, it's a very different journey at the moment than what it was even 5 years ago. The cost of gold has more than doubled. The cost of silver has more than doubled. So it's challenging for jewelry brands right now, in complete honesty. Even the chain you're looking at here, when we first bulked that chain last year, it has gone up 100 USD in just the cost of the chain. So it gives people a little insight into the background of what jewelry brands are experiencing right now. And as a brand, you have to really balance the comfortable customer price point with making sure that we make a profit. So that's been a challenging journey. It also has meant that from start to finish, so we started designing Symbolism end of last year for drop 6 in 2026. We will be launching that collection, if all goes to plan, Q3. So nearly 12 months from design to sampling to production to shooting. So it requires a lot of foresight from us as a design team to make sure that what we design 12 months prior is going to actually land and hit and be received well by our community 12 months later.
Could you show us some of these
I can.
charms and talk about the symbolic meaning that you have behind some of them?
I can. They all mean so much to me. Probably some of them that I feel so closely pulled to are the ones with some of our natural gemstones. So this is our labradorite scarab. This is a very old design that still is one of our best sellers. So it's got a labradorite stone, which is all about trusting your intuition, the innate wisdom within, paired with the symbolic meaning and the motive of the scarab, which is a Egyptian beetle, and it's all about rebirth and resurrection. So I connected a lot with this symbol and wore it a lot when I actually became a mother, because it felt like a rebirth. It felt like I just was poured to ashes and I had to rebirth myself. So wearing that over my heart center every day when I became a new mum was so meaningful to me. Another one I love so much is our acorn. It has a tiger's eye stone, and it's all about fertility and confidence. And I'm currently going through my IVF journey for the second time to have my second child. So wearing this over my heart center every day gives me the courage and the strength to push through what can sometimes be quite a grueling and sad journey. We also have our labradorite scarab in a rose quartz, which is all for self-love and healing and building that loving relationship with yourself. And our community also really love the locket because it's a functional opening locket, and they put beautiful photos of their family and their loved ones, and they share these intimate stories with us about what it means to them. And the thing about Symbolism is our community tend to buy a pendant to mark a milestone, whether it's a birthday, or they graduated university, or they had their first child, or maybe it symbolizes a loss and it gives them some peace and solace. So I love hearing the stories that people intertwine with their necklaces.
Can you tell us a little background on how YCL started? What was the starting idea and how did you build it?
Yeah, it's very innocent. It's not like this grand master plan. I was 21, I was studying a Bachelor of Nursing. I'd been working in aged care as a nurse since I was 15 years old. I had been making jewellery since I was 13 years old, and I am not a trained goldsmith or silversmith. So when I say make jewellery, I mean putting some beads on a wire and calling it a necklace. That's what I used to do. And that's the only experience I have coming into now what is a global brand that we've had for 13 years. It was simply a desire, you're reckless, you're 21. I admire that version of myself because even though I've started a brand since then, there was a time when we were growing YCL that I was like, I'm never doing this again. The hardest and the best thing that I've ever done is start my brand that feels like it's ours. It's, it's so much more than just me now. And I think that I'm very good at creating space for other people to insert themselves and to grow and to build it is into what you see today, essentially.
And did the starting motivation for the brand change over time? Because I know that your ethos now is wear your story, which is very apparent in the way you talk about your brand. But did it start differently?
I think it always started from, I said it downstairs when I was talking about symbolism, that I wanted to create jewellery that was intentional, and usually crystal jewellery is very bohemian. It's lots of turquoise, which look, we started down that route. That was all that I could make. If you want to scroll back, 20,000 photos on our Instagram, you will see the very humble start of YCL. We have never hid from that or tried to censor or take that away. I love where we started. I don't think that brands talk about that enough, but it's been able to evolutionize. So as the brand's grown and as we've hired incredible people and I've grown as a designer and a founder, I think that the designs that you see today are a modern extension of that original intention that I always had for the brand. I think that, there's a saying that my mentors say, and it's that leaders bring the weather. So if I am flighty or anxious or resigned, that's going to bleed into the energy that our team feels. And that's not nice. That's not an environment that I want to create at work. Some of us are here more than what we see our family. We're here a lot, so it's up to me as the top to make sure that the energy that I want from my team and that I want the culture to be built around, it starts with me. So that's I don't always get it right. I'm always learning. The girls give me so much feedback, which I value, but I think that it's really important that we are operating from that space, because if we don't love what we do, what's the fucking point? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can swear, but
you did.
I just did. Okay, good.
And what are your big dreams for YCL in the future?
Oh, big dreams. You know what? I think right now I am so content. I'm so content. I'm feeling that steadiness. We're expanding as a brand in trying to expand our audience and our reach, but I am so proud of what we're doing as a brand. And I'm really happy with where we are. And I don't think I've ever answered that question in that way. I usually do have big plans and big dreams. I want to keep doing what we're doing, always aim to be the best, make sure our quality doesn't drop, especially in scary times like we're in right now with the cost of gold. We're not lessening the quality of our pieces. So that's hard. That comes with a lot of cost cuts and margin cuts, essentially, because we won't raise our prices to the point where we need to keep our margins really healthy. But it's all a phase, so I'm really proud of where we are, what we're doing, and just keep evolving as a brand and keep always innovating.
Hello, Fab.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yay.
Okay, so what do you spend too much money on?
My partner would say skincare.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just be honest about it,
And if you had to wear one piece of jewelry for the rest of your life, what would it be?
My nameplate necklace that has my daughter's name on it.
What's your coffee order?
Ice long black with a dash of almond milk.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
That I always make someone feel warm and seen.
Go-to comfort food?
I had enchiladas last night. Like, I'm here for them. Yeah.
Can we see what's in your bag?
You can. I'm kind of mortified though. My sunnies, a lot of jewellery, some natural gum. I have my key ring with my little Totoro on it. I have 2 phones because I recently got rid of my social media last year. So social media phone, my normal phone. I have my wallet. I have my vitamins. I have my daughter's Miffy. I have my massive makeup that has all kinds of things. Right now I'm loving the Dior lip oil. That's a go-to. And hair clips, brushes, lip liners, a charger.
What's the best and hardest thing about being a mom?
Right now, something that I'm grappling with is my daughter getting older. It's the hardest thing to watch. You feel like the time is just slipping away from you. But also it's the best thing because it makes me extremely present with her.
When do you feel most like yourself?
When I am out in nature with my partner and my daughter at the farmers markets and just living my simple, wholesome life.
What's inspiring you creatively right now?
Honestly, travelers journals and like filofaxes. I'm not on social media anymore, but if I was, my TikTok would just be travelers journals. My partner actually made me one and all I do is just like touch it and draw in it and write in it. And then my daughter has one, so it's like this beautiful thing I can do with her and creating like this tangible creative thing. I think because I work so much on my computer as a designer and as a creative is so nice because it's for no one else, it's just for me.
And lastly, what do you want to be known for?
If in 30 years I have my daughter walks down the street and sees someone wearing a YCL piece of jewellery and they can talk about the story or the meaning of when their mother or their sister or auntie wore that, and my daughter gets to be part of that story, that will make me feel like I've achieved something and that I've left something behind for her.
Thanks for spending the day with us.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.